Yeah,
Hello. By the way, before anything else, can you see
yeah,
and hear me clearly?
yeah. I'm
Uh,
really,
okay, that's great. So, how are you, Lucky?
I'm fine. Today is good.
Oh, that's great. So, what did you do today?
Mm,
Bef-
I'm just working in a bank, and
Mm-hmm.
I go home and take care of my children.
Oh, I see. All right. So, are you ready for our lesson? Okay, that's great. So, let me just go ahead and share the screen. Okay, so by the way, before we continue to our lesson, can you give me or share to me on what we did last meeting?
Um, the last the last time we studied about the price of book.
Okay, so all right. So can you louder your voice because I'm not able to really hear you clearly. Okay. What you did? I mean, what did you say again?
Um, you told me say about the last
Mm-hmm.
we study about the price of book.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Lucky. Your voice is actually broken, but anyway, let's continue our lesson. Okay. So here. Okay. So, what is the title of our topic again?
It's like,
This one. Hmm?
yeah, book
Can you?
don't books don't grow on tree.
Okay, very good. So, how about the vocabulary? Did you remember what we have discussed about the vocabulary?
Yes, we study you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Instructor.
Okay. And what else? All right, addition. O-
Edition. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So here, can you please read this again? This one, tuition. This
Tu-
one.
Tuition.
Okay, very good. One more time.
Tuition.
Okay, very good. So that is all about the vocabulary. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so here we stop in this slide, right? So before you proceed, I will let you listen again to the whole story, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so let's start.
A local community college professor decided to fight back. The price of books for our students is just getting higher and higher, and combined with the rising cost of tuition, it's killing these kids, said Peter Jason, PhD. Remember, students are one of the poorest groups of people in America. Almost half of them have at least one part time job. In fact, one of my students has three jobs. She is a part time sales clerk at a clothing store 3 days a week, then works 3 evenings a week as a pizza cook, and on weekends she does manicures at a beauty salon, and she still manages to have a high GPA and go to school full time.
All right, so did you understand the story?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So my question is, who decided to fight back?
Who decided to find a local community college professor?
Okay, very good. And how is the price of books?
The price of books is getting higher and higher.
All right, very good. So now, as you can see in here, I guess we stop in here, right? The price of books here in the second sentence. So before we proceed or continue to this sentence or the part of the story, I want you to read again this first sentence in here. All right, you start.
A local community college professor decided in fight back.
Okay, very good. So a local community college professor decided to fight back. So who decided to fight back?
A local community college professor.
Okay, very good. So where did the professor work at?
He worked at a local community college.
Okay, very good. So can you read this again? College.
College. College.
Okay, very good. College.
College.
All right, perfect. So now, do you have any question about the first sentence?
Now,
Okay, so let us now proceed to the second sentences in here. So I'll let you listen again one more time, okay? So let's start.
The price of books for our students is just getting higher and higher, and combined with the rising cost of tuition, it's killing these kids, said Peter Jason, PhD.
All right, so can you please read all of the sentences in here?
yes, the
Okay.
price of books for our students is just getting higher and higher, and combined with the rising cost of tuition, it's killing these kids, said Jackson, PhD.
All right, very good. So, did you remember on what is the meaning of PhD in here?
A PhD is means Doctor of Philosophy.
Okay, very good. Doctor of Philosophy, or shall we say PhD. So, in these sentences, what did you understand?
Yes,
What did you learn, or shall we say, what did you understand in these sentences? Or what are the, or how is the prices of books?
price supposed just getting higher and higher.
All right, very good. So, who are affected when the books are getting higher? I mean, the prices of books are getting higher. Who are affected?
Who affected? Um, the, the students, the student of a local community college. That
Okay, very good. So they are affected because the books are getting, I mean, the price of books are getting higher and higher. So maybe they are not able really to afford the books if the price is very high, right? Because they are just students.
yes,
All right. So who is concerned on this situation when the time that the book are getting, I mean, the price of books are getting higher? Who is concerned?
who is concerned? I
Yeah.
don't know concern. Concerns is what it means. Concerns.
Oh, I'm so sorry again. What is that again? You don't know the meaning of concern?
Yes, con-
Oh, okay. When we say concern, it's actually having shall we say when we say concern, it is something worried, like worried about what would be the students will feel. So that is the meaning of concern, okay? So did you get the point of being concerned, or shall we say the meaning of concern, or
concern.
something that um to relate on what is the situation of someone like the students. He is concerned, or who is the person that is concerned about this situation?
Who is concerned?
Yeah.
The,
Who is
the
the person that is concerned about this situation in here?
yes, Peter Jackson,
Uh,
PhD.
okay, very good. So, Peter J's son is so concerned with the students. That's why he is just telling that the price of books for students is just getting higher and higher, and combined with the rising cost of tuition. So, it's killing these kids. So, that is exactly the thing that he said. All right. So here. So, what is getting higher and higher?
Uh, yes, the the price of books, the
O-
price of books getting
Okay.
higher and higher.
All right. Very good. And what is rising?
Um, the tuition,
Okay. Very good. Can you please say one more time? Tuition.
tuition.
Okay, very good. Tuition. All right. So another question: is the price of books are getting lower and lower?
No, it
Or
that it doesn't. No, it isn't. It is higher and higher.
oh, very good. So the books is not getting lower, but higher and higher. So the price is getting higher, right? So who is being killed when the price of books are getting higher and higher?
Yes, the students,
Oh,
students, the killing.
all right. Very good. So when the time when the time that the price of books are getting higher and higher, so these kids are killing. So
Yes,
not really literally killing or being killed, but being what do you call them this? They will be having trouble, or shall we say, because they have no enough money to pay those books that is getting higher and higher, and combined with the rising cost of tuition, right?
yes,
Okay, so did you understand these sentences in here?
yes.
Okay, do you have any question?
No, thank
Oh,
you.
okay, that's great. So let us now proceed to the third sentences. Okay, so I'll let you listen to the audio twice. All right. So here. Okay, let's start.
Remember, students are one of the poorest groups of people in America. Almost half of them have at least one part time job. In fact, one of my students has 3 jobs.
All right. So can you please read the? Okay. By the way, would you like to listen again to the audio,
Yes,
or you're good? Would you like to listen again the audio?
yes, listen
Oh,
again.
okay. All right. Okay, let's start.
Remember, students are one of the poorest groups of people in America. Almost half of them have at least one part time job. In fact, one of my students has 3 jobs.
Okay, so did you hear or listen carefully to the sentence?
Yes,
Okay, so that's great. So now it's your turn to read the sentences.
yes.
Okay?
Students are one of the poorest groups of people in America. Almost half of them have at least a part-time job. In fact, one of my students has 3 jobs.
Okay, very good. So remember, students are one of the poorest groups of people in America. So almost half of them have at least one part-time job. In fact, one of my students has 3 jobs. So this statement in here is also said by Peter J. Son, Peter J. Sean, PhD. All right. So my question is, who are one of the poorest groups of people in America?
Students.
Oh,
Students are one of the poorest groups of people in America.
okay, very good. So next is our teachers are one of the poorest groups of people in America.
Uh,
All right.
so that is the answer.
All right. So it is not the teacher but the
But
students.
students,
Okay. That's great. Okay, so another question. Let me just rephrase it again. How are the students, or what is their situation in these sentences in here?
how students students have almost half of students have at least one part-time job.
Okay. Okay, very good. So, almost half of them have at least one part-time job. Okay. So, what do you think why they have this part-time job? Or shall we say even though they are going to school, but still they also have their part-time job. What is their reason? What do you think?
Yeah, because they want to earn money to pay tuitions, to pay their tuitions and pay their books.
Okay, very good. Exactly. So they have their part-time job to pay or to have money to pay their books and their tuition. And as you can see in here, it's very evident in here, right, that the students are really one of the poorest groups of people because they need to find job while studying to have enough money. So that is why one of his students in here has three jobs. So imagine this student is very hardworking, right? Because while she is studying, she is also having a job,
Yes.
right? So do you have any question about the sentences in here?
No.
Okay, so by the way, how many part-time job does one student have?
Um, there are she she has to work three jobs.
Okay, very good. So, or shall we say, have at least one part-time job to earn money, right? Okay, so are you okay, Lucky?
Yes,
Oh,
okay.
okay, that's great. So do you have any question about these sentences in here or the parts of the story?
Now,
Oh,
thank you.
all right. So, okay, so since you don't have any question, let us now proceed to the last part of the story in here. Okay, so let's start.
She is a part time sales clerk at a clothing store 3 days a week, then works 3 evenings a week as a pizza cook, and on weekends she does manicures at a beauty salon. And she still manages to have a high GPA and go to school full time.
All right, so one more time.
She is a part time sales clerk at a clothing store 3 days a week, then works 3 evenings a week as a pizza cook, and on weekends she does manicures at a beauty salon. And she still manages to have a high GPA and go to school full time.
All right, so it's your turn to read the sentences. All right, so let's start.
She is a part-time sales clerk at a clothing store 3 days a week, then works 3 evenings a week as a pizza cook, and on weekends she does manicures at a beauty salon, and she still manages to have a high GPA and go to school full-time.
Okay, very good. So can you please read this again? Salon.
So,
Salon.
salon,
Okay, salon.
salon, salon,
Okay, yeah, salon. Okay, very good. And how about this? Manages.
managers,
Okay, very good. So, are you familiar with the word here, clerk?
mm,
Do you have any idea on what is clerk?
clerk,
Mm-hmm.
clerk, shop clerk, shelf clerk, uh, sellers,
Mm-hmm.
sellers, shelf clerk. You want to ask me the meanings of the similar work shelf clerk?
Oh, yes. Okay. So just the word clerk. Are you familiar with the word clerk, or can you tell me or define for me the word clerk?
Clerk it means a person work at grocery.
All right. Okay, very good. So it's a clerk, a person who works in a store or any groceries. Okay, very good. Thank you so much for that. All right. So here, um, how about GPA? Are you familiar with GPA?
BAs GBAs is meaning of G uh, G grade grade bond average.
Okay, very good. So it's a grade point average. All right. So very good. So, okay. So now, so my question is, or are, okay, based on the sentences. Okay. So Mm, wait for a moment. I'll just, okay. She's a part-time sales clerk at clothing store 3 days a week, then works 3 evenings a week as a pizza cook. And on weekends, she does manicures at beauty salon and she still manages to have a high GPA or grade point average and go to school full time. All right. So my question is, what does she do at a clothing store?
Uh, she uh, she she is a she is a sales clerk at a clothing store.
Okay, very good. So she is a part-time sales clerk at a clothing store. Okay, so next question. What does she work 3 evening a week?
Uh, she she works at a pizza cook.
Okay, very good. So she works 3 evenings a week as a pizza cook. All right, very good. So um, what does she do on weekends?
Uh, she does manicures at a beauty salon on
Oh,
weekends.
okay, very good, Lucky. And another question. Does she do manicures 3 days a week?
No, she doesn't. She
Okay.
does
Mm-hmm.
on weekends.
Okay, so she doesn't do manicures 3 days a week because she does it during weekends. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Lucky. And how about what other? Okay, so what she manages to. Okay, let me rephrase it. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, so here. So does she go to school part time?
No, she doesn't. She goes to school full time.
Okay, very good. So what does she manages to have?
Uh, she manages to have a high GPA.
Okay, very good. So does she go to school 3 evenings a week?
No, she doesn't.
Uh,
Um,
because
because she goes to school full time.
okay, very good. So does she have very high GPA?
Yeah. Yes, she does.
Okay, very good. So who manages to have a high GPA?
Students, students, the students of Peter Jackson's PhD.
Okay, very good. So the students on a local community college, which by their professor is Peter Jason, PhD, or Doctor of Philosophy. Right? Very good, Lucky. You really did answer my question perfectly. Okay, so now, before we proceed to the next part of the story, on the next slide, I want you to read again all of this story. Okay,
Yes.
so let's start.
A local community college professor decided to fight back. The price of books for our students is just getting higher and higher, and combined with the rising cost of tuition, is killing these kids. The Jackson PhD
All
remembers
right.
one of the poorest groups cities in America. Almost half of them have at least one student. One of my students has 3 jobs. She is
All right.
a house at a clothing store 3 days a week, then works 3 evenings a week as a pizza cook. On weekends, she does manicures at a beauty salon.
All right.
Still manages to have a high GPA, go to school full time.
Okay, very good, Lucky. Thank you so much. So here, I want you to read this again.
It, it,
It's.
it,
Okay. Okay,
it.
very good. Okay, this one more time. College.
College,
All
college,
right. College. All
college.
right. So, okay. So here. So it's in here. It's college, right? So when you when you call this when you read this, it's ca. So let me try to what is this? college. Wait, it's college. Okay? Can say college. Okay, college.
college,
Okay, very good.
college,
Okay, so here. So you try to put in here so that, okay, there is a pause like college. All right? College.
college,
Okay? Okay, very good. Lucky, very good. So that's it. Okay, and then here. So, all right. So did you understand all of this story?
yes,
Okay, so I'll let you ask multiple questions again, and I will not let you watch the screen in here and the story. Okay, so let's see if you can answer. Okay.
yes,
All right. So let's cover this. Wait for a moment. Let me just. Okay. So my question is, what is getting higher and higher?
the price of books,
Okay, very good, Lucky. Okay, so what is rising?
the tuition, the
Okay, very good. And who is the professor of the local community college?
teacher, teacher traction, PID,
Okay, very good. And who have a part-time jobs?
who has a part-time job. One of the students of Peter Traction PhD.
Okay, very good. So, how many part-time jobs does the students of Peter Jason?
Uh, there are three jobs. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So, can you tell me what particular job that his students have?
Yes. She has to work as shelf clerk and pizza cook and do manicures at a beauty salon.
Okay, very good. Okay, other question. What else? Okay, so are by the way, where did Professor Jason work at?
Um, he works at a local community college.
Okay, very good, Lucky. Okay, one more time. Who are the poorest, or one of the poorest people in America?
The students is one of the poorest groups of people in America.
Okay, very good. Okay, does the students go to school part-time?
Sorry,
Oh,
can
it's okay.
can you repeat?
Okay, let me just repeat my question. Okay, does the students go to school part-time?
Yeah, the student no, she doesn't. She go to school full time.
Okay, very good. Okay, so how many part-time job does the students have?
Uh, there are three jobs, three
Oh,
part-time jobs.
okay, very good, Lucky. I guess you really did answer all of my questions correctly, and you're so good. Okay, very good. So now let us proceed to the next slide. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So here. Now, all right. Okay, so let me just same with the last story. I'll let you listen twice, and then we'll go into sentences by sentences. Okay, so let's start. Okay, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Okay, let's start. Oh, it's loading. Hold on. Okay, what happened? Wait, hold on. Oh, what really happened? Okay, wait. It's loading. Oh, what happened? I'm so sorry, Lucky. It's really having a problem. Wait, wait, it's not playing here. All right, it's working now.
Okay.
Okay, it's still loading. Let's wait for a moment. Oh, I guess it stopped in here. All right, what is happening? Okay, let me just fix it. Oh, here. All right.
Textbook prices are traditionally high. Adding to that problem, many college instructors change textbooks year after year. They either upgrade to a new edition or switch to an entirely different textbook. This further hurts students because if an instructor no longer uses a particular textbook, that book has no resale value. Dr. Jason decided to make life a little easier and a lot cheaper for his students by writing his own book on public speaking.
All right, so one more time.
Textbook prices are traditionally high. Adding to that problem, many college instructors change textbooks year after year. They either upgrade to a new edition or switch to an entirely different textbook. This further hurts students because if an instructor no longer uses a particular textbook, that book has no resale value. Dr. Jason decided to make life a little easier and a lot cheaper for his students by writing his own book on public speaking.
All right, so did you hear clearly the story, Lucky?
I hear clearly.
Okay, that's great. So, can you tell me if what is the story all about?
Um, the the story tell about the prices, the textbook prices, um, as the college and the instructors change textbook years after year, and yes, and the students have money to pay the textbook.
All right. Okay, very good, Lucky. So that is all about the story. So my question is, um, what are traditionally high?
Textbook prices are traditionally high.
Okay, very good. So now, okay, I want to to call this listen first the how this story or sentence is being pronounced, and I will let you imitate afterwards. Okay. Okay. So let's start in here. Okay, I guess this is really heavy problem. Hold on. I'm so sorry, Lucky,
Textbook
for
prices
the
are
oh here. I'm so sorry for the late, you know, the audio.
Yeah,
It's loading. I'm so sorry for that. But anyway, let's continue.
no
traditionally
problem.
high.
Okay, okay, alright.
Adding to that problem, many college instructors change textbooks year after year. They either upgrade to a new edition or switch to an entirely different textbook.
Alright, so one more time.
Textbook prices are traditionally high. Adding to that problem, many college instructors change textbooks year after year. They either upgrade to a new edition or switch to an entirely different textbook.
Alright, so now, Lucky, can you please read all of the sentences in here?
Textbook prices are traditionally high. Adding to that problem, many college instructors change textbooks year after year. They 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 either they either upgrade to a new edition or switch to an entirely different textbook.
Alright, very good, Lucky. Thank you so much. So, can you please read this one? Either.
Either.
Okay, very good. And how about this adding?
adding,
Okay, very good. How about this instructors?
instructor,
Okay, instructors.
instructor,
Okay, very good. How about this college?
college, college,
Okay, all right, college.
college.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so did you understand these sentences in here about the content?
And
Oh,
then,
did you?
yeah,
All right. So now, um, are textbook prices traditionally expensive?
textbook traditionally, yes, they are.
Oh,
Textbook prices are traditionally expensive.
all right. Very good. So textbook prices are traditionally high or expensive. Okay, very good, Lucky. Okay. So are novels price high?
No book, no, textbook high.
Okay, so textbooks are traditionally high or getting high, not the novels. Okay, very good, Lucky. And then my other question is, how high are textbook prices?
They uh, they
Are-
they are traditionally high.
Okay, very good. Okay, so my other question is, what do many instructors do after year?
Uh, the the instructors change textbooks year after year.
Okay, very good. So they changes textbooks year after year. All right. So who changes textbooks year after year?
Uh, many college instructors change textbook year after year.
Okay, very good, Lucky. Okay, so other question. How do instructors change textbooks?
They either upgrade to a new edition or switch to an entirely different textbook.
Okay, very good, Lucky. You really did answer all my questions correctly. Again, you're so smart, you're so intelligent. All right. Okay, so do you have any question about the first sentence in here in the story?
Yeah.
You don't have any question?
No, thank you.
Okay, that's great. So let us now proceed to the second part of the story, right? So listen again to this story.
This further hurts students because if an instructor no longer uses a particular textbook, that book has no resale value.
Okay, so one more time.
This further hurts students because if an instructor no longer uses a particular textbook, that book has no resale value.
All right, so now can you please read these sentences in here, Lucky?
This further hurts students because if an instructor no longer uses a particular textbook, that book has no resale value.
Okay, very good. So can you please read this again? Uses.
Uses, uses,
Are All right. So in this part of the story, the students are getting hurt because the instructor is no longer uses a particular textbook and that book has no resale value. So are you familiar with this word, resale value?
resale values,
Mm-hmm.
mm, discount, uh, book, uh, resale. Student can buy a,
Mhm.
old book.
All right. So okay. Resale. I'm so sorry. Resale value. All right. All right. Can you tell me again what did you say earlier?
Uh,
It's
is resale values. This means discount book.
all right. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, thank you so much, Lucky, for the idea. Okay, let me just put in here the definition, okay? So I'll tap in here, all right? So it is, when you say resale value, it is the price of, here. Wait, I'll just, I'll just arrange my, to call this, my, here, just wait. Resale, it is the price with, wait, here. With something, sorry, something can achieve, okay, can achieve when sold in the future, right? So kindly read the definition.
The resale value, the price which something can achieve when sold in the future.
Okay, very good. So can you please read this again? Achieve.
Achieve.
Okay, so that is the meaning of resale value. So the price which something can achieve when sold in the future. Okay, so let's go back in here. So it said in here, this further hurts students because if an instructor no longer uses a particular textbook, the book has no resale value. So it means in here that if the instructors will not going to use the particular textbooks, so it means that book will never be sold in the future because it's not being used, right? So that's why the students are getting hurt. So that is the point of this story in here, all right? So my question is, okay, wait. So who is or who are getting hurt?
The students.
All right. Okay, so what is no resale value?
That that book, a particular textbook
Okay.
with value.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. So another question. What happened if an instructor no longer uses a particular textbook?
The students uh, the students get hurt uh, when an instructor no longer uses a particular textbook
Okay, very good. So another question. Does it hurt students when that book has no resale value?
Yes, they are.
All right, exactly. Okay, so next, what does that book why does that book has no resale value?
Uh, because uh, because an instructor no longer uses a particular textbook.
Okay, very good. So that book has no resale value because the instructor is no longer uses a particular textbook. All right, very good, Lucky. Really did answer again my questions. Okay, you really did understand the story and comprehend it, right? That's why you are able really to answer all of my questions. Okay, that's great. I'm so happy for you. Okay, so do you have any question about this part of the story, this sentence in here?
Now, teacher,
Okay, do you all right, that's great. So do you understand now the meaning of resale value?
understand it.
Okay, so it is something that can be achieved um or on the future, right? It's on the future. It's resale value. Okay, so since you don't have any questions, so let us now proceed to the last part of the story in here. Okay, so let's start. Oh, it's really loading. Hmm. Oh, what is happening? All right, now it's working.
Dr. Jason decided to make life a little easier and a lot cheaper for his students by writing his own book on public speaking.
All right, so one more time.
Dr. Jason decided to make life a little easier and a lot cheaper for his students by writing his own book on public speaking.
Okay, so now it's your turn to read the sentence, okay?
Dr. Jackson decided to make life a little easier and a lot cheaper for his students by writing his own book on public speaking.
Okay, very good. So can you please read this again? Jason.
Jason,
Jason.
Jason,
Okay, so here. Let me just try this, okay? It's Jason.
Jason,
Oh, yeah. Jason. Son.
Jason,
Okay. Okay, not Sean, okay? Because when you say J like this, J Sean, that's how it spells like J Sean.
Jason,
Mm-hmm. But when you say like this, it's just Jason. Okay, Jason.
Jason,
Son. Okay. Okay, very good, Lucky. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so here. So Dr. Jason decided to make life a little easier and a lot cheaper for his students by writing his own book on public speaking. Alright, so my question is, who decided to make life a little easier?
Dr. Jackson decided to make life a little easier.
Okay, very good. So what did Jason or Dr. Jason decided to do?
Dr. Jason decided to make life a little easier.
Alright, so how is the life did Dr. Jason decide to make?
Easier. Dr. Jason decided to make life a little easier.
Okay, very good. So here. So my other question is, how did it make life a a little easier and a lot cheaper?
It, uh,
How
she,
did?
he is writing his own book on public speaking.
Okay, very good. So he decided or just write his own book on public speaking. All right, so that's great. So what did he write what did he write his own book on?
She, he write his own book on public speaking.
Okay, very good. So did he decide to make life a little easier by giving free books?
He didn't.
All
He,
right.
he write his own book on public speaking.
Okay, very good. So it's not he did not make life easier or a little easier or a lot cheaper by giving free books, but it's he write his own books on public speaking. Okay, that's great. Okay, so all right, so can you please read again all of the story here?
Yeah. Textbook prices are traditionally high, adding to that problem. Many research instructors change textbooks year after year. They either upgrade to a new edition or switch to an entirely different textbook. This happens because if an instructor no longer the textbook, that textbook no longer sell value. Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson decided to make life a little easier and a lot cheaper for his students by writing his own book on public speaking.
Okay, thank you so much, Lucky. All right, so can you please read this again? Jason.
Jason, Jason,
Jason, son.
Jason,
Yeah, Jason,
Jason,
son. Okay, can you wait for a moment? Can you try to read this sentence? Son.
son, Jason,
Okay. All right. So Jason.
Jason,
Okay, Jason. Okay, very good. All right. So here. So, okay, I'll ask a random questions, okay? So, who decided to make life easier?
who decided? Dr. Jason.
Okay, very good. So, how is the textbooks prices?
How is the textbook price? The textbook prices are traditionally high.
Okay, very good. So, when does college instructors change books?
They they change textbooks year after year.
Okay, very good. All right. So, okay, here. So, who are getting hurt?
The students,
Okay, very good. So, why does the book has no resale value?
because an instructor no longer uses a particular textbook,
Okay, very good. So here, how did Jason make life easier and a lot cheaper?
because because he he want to he he want to make the textbook prices cheaper.
Okay, very good. So what did he do to make that textbook a lot cheaper?
He decided to write his own book on particular speaking.
Okay, very good. So he write his own books on public speaking to help the students' life more a little easier and a lot cheaper, right? Very good. So now let's try to cover this up, and I'll ask you questions again. Okay? So here, what is traditionally high?
Uh, the textbook prices are traditional high
All right, very good. So why is the book has no resale value?
uh, because an instructor no longer uses a particular the particular textbook.
Okay, very good, Lucky. Okay, how about this? Who decided to make life a little easier and a lot cheaper?
Dr. Jackson,
Okay, one more time. Jason, Dr. Jason.
Dr. Jason, Dr.
Okay. Oh, all right. Very good. Okay, here, another question. Um, how many times, or shall we say, yeah, how many times does, or how often does, and the instructor of the local community college change books?
year after year.
Okay, very good. Okay, other question. What else? What else? Why do many college I mean, what do many college instructor do year after year?
Uh, they they change textbook year after year.
Okay, very good. Okay, how did Dr. Jason make the life of the students a little easier and a lot cheaper? What did he do?
He he decided to write his own book on public speaking.
Okay, very good, Lucky. You really did answer the whole question perfectly. Okay, that's great. So, do you have any question about the story?
No, thank you.
Okay, that's great. I guess you really did understand the whole story because you tend really to answer all of the questions correctly, and I'm so happy for you. Okay, so now let us now proceed to the next slide. So here, okay, wait. All right. Can you please read the upper left side of the screen?
Right. Yes,
All right.
but
Mhm. Okay. You know what, Lucky? I really having a problem with hearing you because
uh,
your voice is broken. But anyway, Let's continue. All right. So here, can you please read this again?
phrases and collocations.
Okay, very good. So phrases and collocations. So now I want you to fill in the blanks and read the story. Okay. So let's see if you can fill in the blanks and if you did really remember the story. Okay. All right. So let's start. Can you try to answer the first?
Um, a local community college professors decided to fight back.
Okay, very good, Lucky. Okay, how about this?
The price of books for our students is just getting higher and higher, and combined with the rising cost of tuition, is killing these kids, said Peter Jason, PhD.
Okay, very good. How about this?
Remember, students are one of poorest groups of people in America. Almost half of them have uh, at least one part-time job. In fact, one of the students has three jobs.
Okay, very good, Lucky. How about this one?
She is a part-time sales clerk at a clothing store 3 days a week, then works 3 evenings a week as a pizza cook, and on weekends she does manicures as a beauty, uh, and she still manage and she still uh, she still manage manage she still manage by 3 days and go to school full time.
Okay, very good, Lucky. You really did answer all of the blanks in here. It's actually have 8 blanks. All right, so and you answer all of it. All right, you're so good. Okay, I'm so happy for you. Okay, so now we'll try now to read again the whole story, okay? And you just do it a little faster, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start.
Um, a local community college professors decided to fight back. The price of books for our students is just getting higher and higher, and combined with the rising cost of tuition, is is killing these kids, said, said Peter Jason, PhD. Remember, students are one of poorest groups of people in America. Almost half of them have at least one part-time job. In fact, one of the students has three jobs. She is a part-time sales clerk at a clothing store 3 days a week, then works 3 evenings a week as a pizza cook, and on weekends
Oh, what happened? Hello, Lucky.
can,
All right.
can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. All right.
Uh,
Okay.
um,
Mm-hmm. Okay, where did you stop?
yeah. She is a part-time sales clerk at a clothing store 3 days a week, then works 3 evenings a week as a pizza cook, and on weekends she does manicure at a beauty salon. She still managed to have a high GPA and go to school full-time.
Okay, very good, Lucky. Thank you so much. Okay, one more time. You really did answer all of the questions correctly, all right? But since it's almost time, so we'll just stop in here, okay? So before we end the class, so can you share on what you have learned for today?
Yes. Um, when you,
Mm-hmm.
when, I, sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, all right. So I just want to ask if before we end the class, can you share on what you have learned for today?
Okay. Um, Today we learn about the Peter Jackson and his students, and um, the way he shows and the way he help his students make textbook prices cheaper.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Lucky. And okay, for the feedback, really very good on pronunciation. Even though there are some words, or shall we say, like Jason, you're having a hard time reading it, but then you actually, if you read it, multiple times, then you really did got it, or pronounce it correctly. All right. And with the story, you really did great. You really did understand the story, and you answered the phrases and collocations, which is fill in the blanks. All right, and I'm so happy for you, Lucky. And I guess this is all for this night. And see you on Friday. And have a good night. And bye bye for now.
Yes,
Bye bye.
yes.
Okay, thank you so much. All right.